I hate football.
If Sam, yeah, that little weasel Sam, right, does not clip you up, yeah, I'm coming for
Of course he's not going to.
Because the amount of times he's clipped me up, yeah, and this is the biggest, honestly, deserves the biggest clip because there's so many clips of you going, yeah, I think we'll win it. Let's go around the table. Do you think we're going to win the league? And then someone going, no, I don't think Arsenal's going to win the league. And you're like, oh, really? Mm-hmm. I need to see this, yeah. I need to see this clip because it's going to be beautiful.
It's a great week. Let's say that. It's a great week.
My voice is gone. I've lost my voice. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what we moved here for. Right? This was why I wanted to move here. I wanted to move here from the Highbury because we were told we were going to be competing. And I know we've only beat Bournemouth. I don't care who it is. The way this side is showing the mentality to come back in the last minute of that, the reaction of the fans, the reaction of the players, all of the subs on the bench, the manager coming running off the pitch. This is beautiful, Robbie. Now we're going to look back in May and think that was the one for the right reasons. I can feel it, Rob. I feel it. This team deserves to win this league right now. This is unbelievable, mate.
We're going to do it?
Yes. I said after Manchester United we win the league. I stand by it, and that performance out there proves why we're going to do it, mate.
Over for you now?
I'm trying to compose myself for the amount of emotion I'm feeling right now. If I'm honest with you, bro, I've got to be brutal today. That team in the last 3 games has showed me it's not focused to win this league. How easy? How easy? How easy is that? That's not even playing well. That's just poor.
No, that was a very good goal.
No, good individually from him, but poor from us. How easy? How easy?
That's offside.
That's offside. Wow.
It looks offside.
I mean, are we for real? Like, how is that only 1-0? Let's just keep it respectful now. Just not have a hammering. That's all I care about. We're going to come back into this, bro. Wait, we're playing the dominated. Maybe I was too optimistic with 3-1 when I got told that's toxic. Maybe I should have gone 6-0. It was done before this game for me, but this is now in the coffin. Yeah. Let's just deep it. We messed up. What this result means, I don't think we do 100% know yet, but I think we 100% could have a good guess at what it means. Arsenal have chucked the title away.
Crystal Palace 4, West Ham 3. Disgraceful performance, honestly. The desire and the fight just didn't seem to be there. We were second to every ball, first and seconds. They was winning everything. But the substitutions were a joke. Bringing Paqueta off and leaving Souček on, you know.
No, Tottenham, no. Tottenham.
He said something about West Ham.
He said that he'll be in a relegation battle. That's what I said.
5 years' time, Tottenham will be in a relegation battle.
Tottenham could be in a relegation battle, yeah. I'm telling you.
Now we're still in this relegation battle, and we have to hope again teams below us and around us drop points. Absolutely pathetic, not good enough, and we really got to buck up our ideas.
Oh! Richarlison! I didn't actually say it. I didn't want to say it. Get in! Yes! Scored all season. Get in! I didn't want to say
What's the time to score? Yes! So you don't care now? No, I do care. I was lying.
Ritty?
In lying.
Yes! I just showed you.
Get in!
Exactly what I thought. Diogo Jota! Come on! In injury time! It's Diogo Jota! Wow, do you like them?
Bottle jobs. They are absolute bottle jobs.
We picked a good one here, Laurie. We picked a good one here.
I don't like Richarlison.
Wow. He's going to cry and put some Insta post that nobody cares about. You shouldn't be at the club. You shouldn't be at the club. The guy's not good enough. Every time I see him step on the pitch for Spurs, I get infuriated because he has no business playing for Tottenham Hotspur. But you are not good enough.
We've just lost 3-1 to Arsenal.
Didn't expect anything else, did we? I mean, at least we scored. That second half was probably the best atmosphere I've seen in the away end in months. The thing we've all just accepted that this is just a sack of and it is what it is. Players don't give a anymore.
When did they?
They never have, but like, there's nothing to fight for, there's nothing to care about. We're hopeless. That's why they're not winning the league. That's why their season is about as pointless as ours is. Because they're not doing anything. They're just there to make up the numbers. They're the best loser. That's it. So you lot can still hold that.
Jota the shotter. Bang, bang. Sit down.
Yes, he was doing so well.
He's at your fast, buddy. You're in the fast lane, baby.
Errol, what's the part where you go to take your top off and you instantly stop? Boxing training, you should have been putting your chest out, son.
I was going to give Sam all of his plaudits and go, that's it, I take back everything. And then he still has to come for me. Still. But it was good to finally see Potts get his just desserts. This is amazing. This is something special. We're going to do it. We're going to win this league. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's amazing. Oh, how easy.
The internet's a horrible place, you know. I swear the internet is a horrible place.
When
you know what,
Man
United, your time is coming. Your time is coming. There's a liver bird looking over your shoulder, matey. The Scousers are coming. The Scousers are coming. And when that happens, there's going to be some juicy clips of you, my son.
Flawless. Am I worried that they're coming? Yes. Am I worried about you? No. Not at all.
Listen, you need to be worried about how you need to be worried.
I'm not worried about a man who 4 or 5 months ago was going, I still think we could finish above United. Yeah, we can. Make sure you finish above Leeds first, mate, then come for me, yeah?
Well, we're above Leeds in the table, so don't worry about that. Yeah? Don't worry about that.
And seeing some of these comments in here, honestly, I don't. What do they want me to say? Honestly, it's like
you're in the mud.
So what? We're not in the mud, though, are we?
We are. N9 NE NUFC said you're in the mud, and I agree with him.
Okay, well, I'll go to sleep really panicking about what N9 NE fucking whatever NUFC says. I'll be crying in the bathroom again about that one.
You should.
That's our community, man.
I know. I'm sorry. N9 NE underscore.
I'm part of the loading community as well.
It's all love.
Big up everyone in the chat, man. Big up everyone. Make sure you love for the love and smash a like, subscribe. Make sure you're following all these guys. Big up Sam Hart. What a brilliant clip that was, man. Big up Sam.
Stunning.
And the season's not even done yet. Like
talented boy,
Errol, I can't fucking wait for it to be done. I'm fucking sick of it.
Everyone's had enough of it. Everyone's had enough.
Yeah.
Listen, Dan, we might as well start with what the hell just happened a minute ago, man. I say a minute ago, half hour ago. That was a crazy ending to a crazy game. I didn't really understand what Luke Shaw was doing, but as a Man United fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game, bro.
Yeah, it's the story of United's season. First half, we're away from home. This is the story of our season. First half, we're fine. You know, we're in the game. We're never really far out of it. Second half, we come out, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a mentality thing, but we never, ever, ever turn up. It's happened so many times. It happened against Spurs, 2-0 up. It happened against Sevilla, 2-0 up. Tonight, I just kept sitting there thinking, well, I said it in the chat, they're going to win this. I don't know. I can't. I'm not blaming it. I'm not going to blame it on players being injured. I'm not going to blame it on anything like that, because for me, I'm going to be as honest and as real as I can here. United should have been down to 9 men, really. I mean, Casemiro, it's a red. Anthony, I've been he's been changing my opinion slightly lately. You don't do that in a football game. That is a red card. I don't care what anyone says. It's petulance. It's pathetic. So The worry I've got is United have still got two away games to come. We've got this fucking mug here, this side, and then we've got Bournemouth and mate. I don't know. I'm gone. And we've got Bournemouth. I fully expect us to win the games at home. I've got no problem there. It's just the away games. I think we're seeing here, and I think I said this a few weeks ago. United are starting to limp towards the end, and I think a long season has caught up with us. The other fact of the matter is we are missing so badly missing a striker that can cause trouble up there and put the ball in the back of the net. So it's one of them. I'm gutted, of course I'm gutted, but at the same time, the saving grace is we're still a few points ahead of Liverpool. We've got a game in hand still. So and our game in hand's against Chelsea. And don't click this up, Sam, because if we lose, I'm coming for you, mate. I'll find where you live. But Chelsea at home, I fully expect us to beat them. So I still think we get top four. It was a mistake by Luke Shaw in an otherwise really good performance by Luke Shaw. I thought he was unreal again tonight. He's not a centre back, and people need to forget that to remember that. Sorry. So it's one of them. I'm upset. I'm gutted, but I'm still confident the top four is well within our reach. And for all these, I've already seen it on Twitter. Penalty redemption. That's your penalty, honestly. So
do you know what? Right, I watched Mitoma tonight, and it wasn't his night. And I tell you what, Wan-Bissaka did not let him cut inside. He was quality tonight in parts of that game. Defensively, 1-on-1, he is good, man. Like he's no good going forward, Wan-Bissaka. But when you put someone on him 1-to-1, I do think he's good. And I know Mitoma got better of him at sometimes.
He did. He did.
When you look at what he was doing to try and minimalise it, it worked. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't let him cut inside and hit that. But Dan, I've got to say, right, I was saying to these lads before you jumped on behind the scenes, I've dated back to the 19th of February when Manchester United won convincingly 3-0 to Leicester. Other than that, it's been poor, mate. It's been like scraping over. And I know a win's a win, right? But like you didn't really win convincingly in the FA Cup against Brighton. It was obviously went down to penalties. But it's not just that one. It's been like scraping the barrel 1-0 against Brentford. It was a 0-0, I think, against Southampton. You lost to Newcastle.
We
In that time, you've obviously got your 7-0.
Most of the game, no Pots. The Southampton.
Listen, that was just one that I looked. I don't remember the circumstances of these games. But my point is, I haven't looked at Man United for a while now and gone, they played well there. I've not. And
no, I agree.
Is that a worry to you? Is that a worry to you? Because you're not missing loads of players. Do you know what I mean?
It is and it isn't, because everything you said there, I completely agree. I don't think you broke us, Errol. I think us losing. I think us losing 2 centre backs and Casemiro for 9 games is probably that, mate. No,
because we spun Martinez into the nether realms or something, didn't it?
And then what did you do after that, mate? You went and lost to fucking Bournemouth. So sit down. So anyway, for me, all season I am, mate. I'm proper rattled. I'm sorry, Errol. I'm sorry, mate. For me, everything you've said there, yeah, I'm not really worried, because some way we've still managed to keep in the top 4, and we seem to have grinded results out when it's mattered. And I think that's the thing here. We just need to just get over that finish line. I think 2 wins will be fine. I think 2 wins and we'll be all right. Wolves at home, Chelsea at home, and Fulham at home. So it's we've got to win those 3 games. We've got to. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Listen, I think you will, and I think you'll get top 4, but it's not looking convincing. The performances at the moment for me, it's like, where is this Manchester United that was in a title race for 3 days? Do you know what I mean? Back in wherever it was.
I never said that though, mate. Did I?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And I think this is realism for Manchester United fans out there, because honestly, it fried my head when we were I think we were 3 or 4 points, whatever, and they were going, "That's it, we're back," and it's like, no, we're not back. Don't get ahead of yourself. Do not get ahead of yourself. And this is the time where I look at those fans and I say, there you go, lads. There you go. Sit back in your corner. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. As much as it hurts tonight, we still only need two wins for me, and we're done. So we chalk it down to one of them. It hurts, but we just fucking move on from it. At the end of the day, we've got a game against West Ham on Sunday. That is a massive game for both teams. It is a massive game. I think Lawless will agree with that. And we just have to go there and get a result. We have to. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Lawless, are you? Would you be worried if you're a Man United fan?
What in general?
Like in general, and for their top 4 hopes. I mean, I think they will get top 4. But you said it ain't done last week, and
yeah, And now
Dan said it was. So what's your thoughts now?
Dan said they've got games in hand. They've lost one of their games in hand tonight. Lose another one. Like I said, Liverpool, they hit form at the right time. And with those injuries and with those that fatigue starts creeping in, they could very easily drop the points. And look at Liverpool's goal difference compared to Man United's as well. So even if it comes down to that, that's a little extra thing in Liverpool's favour. And Sunday, obviously, they come to the London Stadium in a game that we have to get something from. We have to get at least a draw. It's like Dan said, it's a huge game. For them, for their top four hopes, for us to seal up this survival, we can focus on Europe. By the way, we're still in Europe. For everyone saying, why is a West Ham fan on Race for Europe show? We're still in Europe. Like I have to mention every week.
No one asked. No, not one person's asked.
It's been in the chat. It's been in the chat. It's been in the chat. Why is West Ham fan?
Errol, I tell you something though, mate. Tonight, if I'm Liverpool, I'm banging that door down at Brighton for McAllister because he was just unreal again tonight. That man is a baller. He was just the balls he's spraying out wide and just the intricate passing.
I did see one of the balls he whipped out to
stunning, mate. Stunning. And that's the thing. And dare I say, as much as we lost, I really enjoyed the way Brighton played tonight. Even in the 85th minute, they're picking the ball up from their goalkeeper, 3 or 4 passes, and they're out and they're gone. And it's like
they play out from the back so well under this.
They're stunning.
They're stunning. They are unreal. And like the thing is, you talk about McAllister. It ain't just him that you'd have though. You'd have Matoma. You'd have what's the name, Caicedo. You'd have he looks the quality player now. They all where do they come from? Estupinan, the left back, he looks pretty good. I'm like, where are these people coming from? It's like Cucurella, see you later. We'll get this Estupinan guy in, whoever his name is. Then you've got Caicedo, who just comes in to replace Basuma and looks better. Like, where do these players come from in their scouting system? It's incredible. And Solly March, by the way, he looks like a real talent. Like, he's been good all season, to be fair. I know he missed a penalty the other week and looked like his confidence shot. When he came on, he was absolutely terrorising Man United. So they've got a very, very good side.
Do you know what hurts, though, Potts? Do you know what hurts? United, and I think I've said this before, Ranić wanted Caicedo. He wanted him. He wanted when he come, and the United scouts turned him down. And it's just standard, isn't it? It's poor decisions. You've got Brighton going out there picking up these players from all over the world and not paying ridiculous amounts of money for them. And you just think to yourself, with the greatest respect to Brighton, why aren't bigger clubs going out and getting players like this? Because these players, let's be honest, the players we've all mentioned there, they walk into any side in the league. They do. Maybe not starting for some of them, but they are in that squad. They are in that squad and they're getting serious game time. So I don't understand how these players are being missed by big clubs. I really don't.
But I'll add to that with the Brighton situation. It's the reason why we waited. Newcastle waited to get Dan Ashworth because he's one of the biggest reasons why they've got these type of players. These players were on their list when Dan Ashworth was still at the club. We waited until the end of the season. We were told last January we couldn't get Dan Ashworth and we weren't allowed to talk to him. But he was the guy that we wanted because he is effectively not everything of what Brighton have built, but a big part of what they built. So,
agree.
What we see, this is why, talking about Newcastle for a second, this is why we're looking to build our team differently and not go and splash loads of money, because that's why we've got Dan Ashworth in. And Dan Ashworth, quite interestingly, in his first interview, said if he's going out there and spending like crazy amounts of money like Chelsea have done, then he's not doing his job, because he's built his name on signing the likes of Caicedo and Matoma and players like that. So that's why we wanted him to build.
I think just Pete, by the way, to push some Newcastle prop. Let's pivot into that. He did that very easily and very quickly.
Well, it makes sense because Dan Ashworth was the reason why the likes of Caicedo and Matoma went there. So it makes a perfectly valid point.
I think with what you're saying there, and sorry, Lewis, I think this is something that's changing in football dramatically over the last few years. Yeah, okay, you can get a great manager in. Yeah, okay, you can bring the players in, but you've got to have behind the scenes. You've got to have the top team behind the scenes to go out and get these players. You know, we've seen it. We've seen teams go out there and Chelsea going out there and spending 600 million just to get players in. You've got to have the right team behind the scenes to get these players in. And if I'm a Brighton fan, unless my whole scouting network and everyone buggers off, I'm not concerned for this summer. Yeah, okay, they might lose. I might lose Caicedo, I might lose Matoma, I might lose McAllister, but I've got faith that I know they're going to find these gems and bring them in. So I think
what's
Brighton
mad as well?
That
Chelsea have got Brighton stuff, apparently, people. Newcastle have taken Dan Ashworth, and they just keep going still. It's like, we'll give you more. We'll just go get him again.
Yeah. They've signed that boy from Watford, haven't they? And no doubt he'll turn into a fucking baller next season. Do you know what I mean?
Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah,
he's a good player. With him,
apparently. Good player.
We had the deal agreed with him, but we terminated the deal in order to get Isak because we had an injury to Wilson. Otherwise, João Pedro would have been at Newcastle, and that was at the beginning of the season. So
it's just lazy scouting from a lot.
He's a top player, by the way. Like we talked to unloaded. We talked to a Watford group, and the way they big João Pedro up, they are convinced. Like they knew he was going to leave, but they are convinced big things are coming for João Pedro. So it could well be at 30 million. An absolute snippet of a signing, to be fair. He's definitely one to watch next season for sure.
Just saying what Lawless said there, but I agree. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I agree with you, mate. I do. I think a lot of the big clubs there are lazy signings. I think it's been shown over the past few years. I think you've got to have that network that goes out there and gets these players in and finds these gems that are not only going to take your club forward but are ready to go straight away. It's just, honestly, I watched them tonight, Brighton. I'm not going to wank over them too much, but they were stunning. They were in control of the game. You know, first half we had some, there was a couple of chances we had, but they did not look out. They did not look out of control in that game from the first minute to the 90th. They were stunning, and it comes from work behind the scenes.
And
it's my dream of Newcastle and Brighton in the top four going to come true. Newcastle third, Brighton fourth. Wow,
Brighton
I would love to.
I mean, look, if they keep their players and they keep De Zerbi, they could be there. And like I said, just imagine being rivals to this team and just being so massively in their shadow and being so massively inferior. So yeah, not good times for Palace fans being in Brighton's shadow. But shout out Mark Taylor, I just say that, I'm not fighting. I just have to say my piece.
There's a lot going on in the chat.
I hope they keep these players, right? Because Liverpool are going to try and do, sweep him because they've been rejected by Bellingham and now they're going to pivot to Brighton. But I think it's great for the league if Brighton can.
You had to bring up Jude.
Yeah, exactly. Look, it's so funny, like how quickly now they've just. I see it on Twitter with the Liverpool fans. Oh, McAllister 10, and how quickly they've moved on. And
Lawless, did you see it a couple of weeks ago when the other one the Liverpool fans were saying was, nah, he's staying one more season with Dortmund. He's going to stay one more season, and then we go, and it's like,
he's got an agreement. He's got an agreement with in place.
Errol, this isn't aimed at you, mate, because you've been quite.
The minute Real Madrid come knocking, you're going to go, man.
Consistent with it. I've knew from day dot we weren't getting Jude Bellingham, and I've not let anybody try to.
Grizz was on here. I heard he's coming, Dan. He's coming, Jude. He's coming, and I was like, okay, Grizz, cool. You must know someone. He was saying it for weeks, months.
I've heard people from same way Grizz. Same way other people that we do stuff with the channel on have they've had journos on, you've had a lot of people, you've all been saying it's been wrapped up, it's been done, there's an agreement in place, and every single time I've said no. And that's from people that on another day talking to me about another player in another situation, I'd probably go, all right, cool, yeah, I can take you here for that because you've a solid. Nothing has been able to turn my stomach on the fact that Jude Bellingham was never coming to Liverpool. What I will just say about Brighton while we was actually talking about them, Lawless, had nothing to do with Liverpool.
I was just talking about. I hope they keep their players. Like that's the thing because it's
this is where my point was actually going to be based on, still on them, not Liverpool. The fact of the matter is, for me at the minute,
unlike when we were talking about Arsenal, Errol. Unlike we were talking about Arsenal, yeah, and then you wanted to make it about Liverpool,
bro.
Errol, before you say no, this hasn't made me appreciate the job that got done again. This hasn't done it at all, mate. All right.
All right, say your piece, but I won't let that go
because we've been winning. I'll let you have it. We've been winning right now.
Errol, I would like to point out though, mate. I asked you a few weeks ago. I said I think Liverpool are back in this, and you said the signs were there with Liverpool, weren't they? They've hit it at the right time. It's scary.
I think we probably needed to do more against Chelsea. Well, we definitely need to do more against Chelsea. And if we would have got the winner against Arsenal, we could have been having a different conversation. But I think those big games for us might be where we look back and say, if we would have started a few weeks earlier, we could have been in the conversation and we could have really been turning the screws. The one thing I did want to say just about Brighton is, what happens when the players leave? We've seen Cucurella for Chelsea this season hasn't lit it up. Again, we know Chelsea are in turmoil, so is that really a fair?
Sumo as well,
and that was the other one. But then again, you look at Tottenham; they're in a little bit of turmoil.
They're still good players.
They are good players, but they haven't been able to go and show it that it's been transferable to another club.
I think again it goes back to the lazy scout, and it's like, oh wow, like look how well they're doing at Brighton, how much they're lighting up Brighton. Let me just go sign them without seeing like how they played at Brighton, what system they played, and if it's going to be like you said, transferable into that team, it's just. Oh wow, Matoma, like he's been banging.
That's my reservation about McAllister, if I'm being honest with you, though, Lawless. The point you're making there, that's my reservation about him. I know Dan's just waxed lyrical and gave him high praise, but I'm still not convinced, especially with what Liverpool are trying to do at this moment in time. If he comes in and is that guy for us, I'm not 100% sure. Are Liverpool fans now just drunk on transfer juice? We just want anybody. We're desperate for any midfielder, so we're going to wank them all off essentially until we've got one in a Liverpool shirt. And I think that's poor planning down to what we've done. But essentially, in terms of Brighton's case, some of these players look great because they're playing for Brighton. You don't have to play 2 games a week in European competitions. You've only got to focus on that 1 game a week. The fresher, in terms of what's actually the mileage, how many minutes they get and run into the ground on a season by season basis. So for that reason, we have to apply some level of tax to the actual quality. I know we said they'd get into teams. I think they've got the quality. But would they fit into what? The only other one really this season, you kind of got to give the balance reflection, is Trossard. Trossard did leave in January. And Dan, he's probably been one of your better players the second half of the season. With that,
still not even a regular starter though, is he?
He's been treated badly actually. I was going to come on to that later, but he got Player of the Month in March. We didn't see him in April. It's shocking, absolutely crazy. But yeah, listen, I mean, last night I had Emilio on here, Errol, last night, who reps Fulham, and he was a bit like peeved with last night's loss. He said that he felt that Alisson made a couple of really good saves and they could have had a chance to take something from it. Now, I only saw the highlights. It doesn't really show the full game, but has he got a right to be a little bit like frustrated they couldn't take something Fulham, or was it always going to go Liverpool's way?
I think we was always going to be the more dominant team in terms of the possession that we had on the ball. We was at home. I don't really think Fulham done enough. The one thing I'll give, and I said it on our instant match reaction last night after the match, you've got to give them credit for staying in the game. They did well against City on the weekend. They stuck in the game with us. They didn't just, the art didn't fall out of them after we scored that penalty. Again, it was a pen that didn't need to be conceded from their perspective, if I'm completely honest with you. It was a mistake that Darwin Núñez makes in the first instance, and then he harms the defender. He doesn't give Diop a moment's time on that ball. Diop, I don't know what he's doing because he's not even watching where the man's coming in to press him. And that was the real only mistake that he made. Other than that, he was quite solid in defence, and I don't really think Liverpool did enough. I think Liverpool, where Fulham had a couple of chances that Alisson needed to save them, I don't think the same could be said of Bert Leno. I think Liverpool worked the ball a lot better, but in that final third, we wasn't clinical enough and we didn't actually make the right decisions with the final ball. And I think that's what let us down, whereas Fulham probably think, we had some really big chances to at least score, but the best goalkeeper in the league by a country mile. And the reason why we are pretty much in and around the European places this season is down to a lot of the work that Alisson's done over the course of the season. So I can kind of see his point, and I'm not mad at it. I think he might have felt like there was a chance for them to have got a draw yesterday. I think Liverpool probably just done enough on the day, but I did give a lot of credit for Fulham for actually sticking in the game and Liverpool not being able to put it to bed.
Can I bring up, and I'll bring the other guys into this, right? I think this season there's been a little bit of disrespect to Mo Salah. Right. I think a lot of people have been saying how bad Liverpool have been, and he's not quite the same. I've got his stats in front of me, right? This is just this season. Community Shield, he played, he scored, and he assisted. League Cup, 1 game, 1 goal. FA Cup, 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Champions League, 8 games, 8 goals, 2 assists. Premier League, in the 34 games that he's played, he's had 18 goals and 7 assists. That's not a bad season, in my opinion. But a lot of people would say he gets nowhere near team of the season. He doesn't get spoken about. Liverpool is shambles, so he must be as well. And I don't know, man.
I guess it's hard when your team is doing so poorly and you're their talisman. Like, that bit of that spotlight's going to go onto you. You know what I mean? And I think by his standards, obviously, that he's set, which are so high, he's not living up to, but most teams would be happy with his output if it was any other player. But, you know, it's like, it's the same way, like if Haaland drops them numbers next season, people are going to be like, oh, he's fell off a cliff. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's just
relative, isn't it? It's relative to what he's done in the past. I've been a little bit critical of Salah at times this season because he's not looked himself. I think more than anything else, it's been his output is there, and his output's there because it's Salah. But I think from the way I read it, sometimes it's his body language and it's his attitude. And I think
he's been ineffective in games. Don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah.
He has. But he hasn't had an unbelievable season. But you look at the stats, and I'm not really a stats man, if I'm honest with you. But I look at it because I thought he must have had an all right season. He's done well in every competition, and he's
the 2 penalty misses though. The 2 penalty misses were big ones, weren't they? I mean, that's probably that's probably not helped, has it? With perception.
And he didn't really do much again in some of the big games, but then he scored against City. He's still
hat-trick against United.
Yeah, he got a hat-trick against United. He's still done it. He's still done it in parts, and I think, you know, I know someone a couple of weeks ago when Rashford was like flying high and having his what looks to have been a bit of a purple patch. People were saying, you know, Rashford's world class. He's having his best goal scoring season for Man U, and Mo Salah was still posting up the same numbers. And
I was appalled by Rashford tonight. I'll be honest with you, I was appalled by his attitude.
What was that dive all about? As
well? But it wasn't just that, Potts. It was all over the pitch. He was on the floor, you know, constantly and just trying to go at the ref. And I don't know what it is with him. I don't know, like Errol said there, and that's the concern I suppose United fans have got to start to think about is, has it just been a purple patch? Because it's consistency is what makes.
Who do you think has had a better season, Martinelli or Rashford?
It's a tough one, you know, because Rashford has scored important goals for United, but so
Martinelli's our top scorer.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. I think Rashford, for me, just for the bare facts, if Rashford doesn't score those goals, United are 8th, 7th, 8th. So that's for me.
Sorry, bro, I didn't see you. Look, I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. I thought I got relegated.
You're lucky. Everyone in the chat, you want to talk about how, why is West Ham fan on this channel? We're in Europe, so don't chat about me not comfortable.
We should make this a drinking game. Every time Lawless mentions he's in Europe, we take a fucking drink. We'd all be shit.
Man. We really should. I asked that because everyone's going mental over Rashford, but I think he's been pretty poor for a few games now, if I'm honest with you. And Martinelli has been massive for us. He's our top scorer. He's been unreal. You're going for a title race been on top of the table for most of the season. I think Martinelli walks into that ahead of Rashford, in my opinion. And I think Rashford's had a really good season. So I just wanted to ask you guys about that. But if it's close, it's close. Maybe
you know what I will say while we're talking about certain players and the levels and the performances and the dips and the trajectories, I'm gonna need to get some respect on Trent's name. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, Jen.
Do you know what though? You know why you won't get it from some. Now, I wasn't one of these guys who was going mental, right? But I did say that I don't think he's the best defender. But I never questioned him going forward, and he's proven why he's brilliant going forward the last few
that was the argument. That was the argument, Errol.
No, but
exactly that.
The argument was that he's not a great defender, and my stance was always I accept that he is not going to ever be classed as a world-class right back in terms of a defensive right back. But he is not dog shit. That was just disingenuous to the nth degree.
Errol, I can take a page out of your book, right? So it's kind of like when your missus is moaning at you for not doing a job you'd say you do weeks ago. Look, it's gone. Forget about it. Okay, if I could just go Errol way there.
Well, you didn't link it to. You should have said, and then she wants to come and give you some vagina at the end of it, and you're like, no lass, you didn't come. You was moaning at me about the dishes. I'm not on it now. That's an error.
I love your accents, man. Your accents.
I went from Geordie to Scouse and then to something I'm
Back
not
to
really
Welsh.
sure.
Yeah.
To be fair, Wales is close to Liverpool, like North Wales, So.
Derry cross the Mersey.
Either way, I still think in terms of your original point, I do genuinely think Salah has had moments this season where he hasn't looked as engaged and hasn't looked as hungry for it because he knows that the team aren't able to play up to that standard, and that's had an effect on him, which for an elite level player is what you never want to see. But we've seen it happen to Messi, we've seen it happen to Ronaldo, we've seen it happen to Neymar. So they are guilty of that. I think that's the ego in them. If they see the shit around them stinks, they're...
Lawless would make the best
Dave.
villain on a soap. Honestly, he'd make the best villain on a soap.
I would, man. Do you think, Errol, just quickly before we move from Liverpool, do you think you can get? Do you need like 100% record now to get?
We've got 4 games left, mate. We need to be
win them all.
flawless. And the reason I say that is because if we're flawless in our 4 games, it means, and it's already happened tonight as we've seen, means that Man U and Newcastle for as long as until they're mathematically safe in that top 4 bracket, they need to be flawless as well. And in the event that we take our foot off the gas and we slip up, they don't have to then be flawless themselves. And I expect that from Liverpool now. I expect Liverpool to apply that level of pressure, because I've said it all season, you don't get to warrant being in top 4. Like, we don't deserve it at all this season. I've said it a number of times after the way we played. We don't deserve it, but you don't warrant being in top 4 after the last six games of the season.
You know what? Apart from Villa, your fixtures are quite favourable.
Yeah. So they are. But what I'm saying is, though, mate, when you actually deep it, like Newcastle for a whole season have done it. They've been there or thereabouts within touching distance. They performed like they're capable of being in the top 4. Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs have shown massive dips in form and massive inconsistencies. We haven't had that like medium performance across the board where you say they're safe for it, that you put your money on them. And I think right now, use just by proxy of being where you are in the top 4 is great. But if the league stopped tomorrow, you would deserve it. If you now drop a couple of points and we sneak in, that is.
I think, Errol. I think what gets United in, I think, is our home form, and we've got 3 games at home. I think that's what saves us, to be honest.
Because I thought he's had 2. If you've got 3 games at home, he's a sound.
Yeah, it's the home games, because away from home we've been shocking this season. So I think that saves us, just about.
And I agree. I agree with that. I think I don't see where you would drop. I don't see where you're going to drop points at home, to be honest with you, at this late stage. The crowd won't let you. The standard and the expectation will be that you get it over the line. And I think that's where Liverpool are going to look back and shoot themselves in the foot, because my argument's been from October, when we knew we was out the title race. We've got the better part of 20-odd weeks, whatever it is, between now and the end of the season. There's no excuse to not finish in the top 4.
If we're here 6 weeks ago, Errol, you finished top 4, we don't.
Yeah,
I hands down believe that.
That's fair.
If we, I've said it before. We said it on my preview last night, Potts. If we beat Arsenal at home on Sunday, we're getting it. We then have Leeds, Brighton at home, Leicester at home, Chelsea away. Like I expect us, if we beat Arsenal, we'll get another 3 or maybe more points to secure it. I'm assured of that. But
let's move to that one, Pete. I was on your show last night.
I'm gonna love you and leave you.
Go on, Errol. Yeah. Go on, bro.
Take care,
nice one, man.
Catch you later.
Always love, man. In a bit, Errol. Pete, you know my thoughts on it, mate. I think we're gonna lose. I don't believe Gabriel's back. I haven't heard anything. Saliba's still out. Means we've got a shocking pair at the back, man. Kivior and Holding never played together. It's going to be peak, man. It's going to be a long afternoon for us.
Is it confirmed that Gabriel's out for this game?
No,
he was sort of hobbled off a bit.
Yeah, it don't look good. Apparently, Arteta said it don't look good for Sunday. So I mean, it's already the title's done anyway, but this is just going to put nail in
I've
the
not
coffin for
been
me.
hearing this. I've not been hearing the titles done. I was on doing the watch on yesterday with Laurie. He's not feeling
but
it's done.
Laurie's like Mr. Positive, mate. Like,
Yeah, a lot of most of your fan base don't think it's. We'll talk about that later, but most of your fan base don't think it's done.
hope,
They
mate.
were hoping
It's
we would do
hope,
you a
Lawless.
favor.
Like Robbie
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I think we can still win the league." Yeah, we can.
Mathematically, you can.
Mathematically, of course we can. I can sit there and say that, but there's no belief. Like, for me, Newcastle were on fire.
Fans to put you out of your misery. That's not Newcastle fans, but Newcastle, the team Newcastle, to put you out of your misery. End it. Just let us all.
It will.
Just,
It will on Sunday. It will be done. I cannot see us winning on Sunday. I just don't think the crowd will allow it. That they're on fire. They're flying. They know they've basically got to win this game. And like Pete said, secure Champions League football. Probably third place, in my honest opinion. I can't see it being anything else. I predicted a 3-1 loss against Newcastle. I stand by it. I think it'll be a nasty one.
Both you and Albert. Albert also.
Did Albert say that as well? Did he?
Yeah, he predicted a loss as well. I think he said something like 2 or 3-0. So that's the first time we've ever had opposition guests that have predicted against their own team.
And it's mad because we're only actually missing Saliba and potentially Gabriel and Saliba together, which is a massive thing. To be fair, I say only, that's quite huge. But the rest of our team is there. That's been there. It's just the confidence is low. With the mentality, don't look strong enough for me at the moment. It's a place we struggled last season. But Pete, let me ask you, because I didn't really get to speak about your thoughts on it properly last night on your channel. So talk to me. Are you feeling confident, quietly confident, massively confident in this game?
No, I'm confident. I always am at St James's Park. Everyone's just gone, but Liverpool are the only team to beat us there, and that was with 10 men. And to be fair, for long parts of the game, we probably played the better football, which was a shame. And look, St James's has been a fortress this season. Our boys have just turned up 2 or 3 different gears that we've not seen for a long, long time at St James's Park. So, look, War Flags are looking at doing something special again, like they did, way back when last season when Arsenal came to town last time. Lawless is nodding his head in approval.
I'm enjoying this War Flags. Get the War Flags out.
They're looking at producing something big. Look, it'll be sold out 52,000. The boys know how big this game is, but you know what? What I see more than anything is that the players are not phased. They're just not. Like, we went 1-0 down against Southampton. We were 1-0 down at half time. You would have thought there was a little bit of nerves kicked in. They didn't. We just switched gear. We weren't even in first gear in that first half. And we probably should have been ahead by a couple of goals. Went 1-0 down. Just switched gear second half and just absolutely destroyed Southampton. Was
that at Southampton?
No, it was our place. I was there on Sunday with the Loaded Boys, and we just switched gears and just made it look really easy. Probably could have scored 4 or 5 in the end, and unlucky not to. And I just think with Arsenal coming to town, the boys are going to be ready. A little bit like Arsenal, a little bit like Chelsea early on in the season, where they were big games. Man United as well, the big games, and the boys kind of rose to the occasion. And I do expect us to do the same again. But look, we're not taking anything away. Arsenal's attacking line is good. You've got good players. You've got players that can hurt us. But I just think, if you go into that game without your main centre-back pairing, I genuinely believe that whether it's Isak, whether it's Wilson, whether it's both of them, at some point will make the difference. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, and I agree. And big up Albert is in the chat saying he says the Newcastle beats 2-1. Newcastle scored 20 in their last 6, and Arsenal have conceded 13 in their 6. It is not a good look. I don't see it being anything other than that. I think the way Arsenal played against Chelsea, I'm gonna bring Lewis in now. I can't even lie. It was so easy, but it ain't going to be like that against Newcastle.
They're by far the worst team in the league currently.
Easily. Facts, absolute facts. I mean, that was the easiest game we've played at the Emirates. I mean, the second half they scored and thought maybe they could get back into it, but it was just easy. It was just really poor. And Frank Lampard, wow. I'm sorry,
the selection was just.
I mean, Aubameyang had 9 touches and 4 of them were for kickoff. That's how bad it was.
It's bizarre.
It's just
bizarre. It's just unreal. Just a quick one, Pete, on Newcastle. I just wanted to say one thing that I think's helped you guys. Wilson seems to have found form again, doesn't he? And he's on fire that way at the moment.
You know what? It's because he's been benched. And we've been talking about this for a while. We knew once Isak got back to full fitness that he would become the first choice striker. And Wilson, and he said it on his podcast, he's pissed off. He's pissed off that he's not first choice. And actually, in this month of April, where he's scored 8 in 7 or something like 8 in 9, whatever it is, he's only had 2 starts in the whole of that month. He had he had the start against Everton and he had the start against West Ham, scored 2 in both. But he's come off the bench and scored 2 goals. A goal here, he scored against Man U, the second goal. Now he is on absolute fire.
Mate, he's got 15 goals. 15 goals this season. That's
15
brilliant.
goals this season. Our top scorer, and he is
8 goals in April. Surely 2 for life.
That's unreal.
Yeah. And he'll probably get Player of the Month because he's been. To be fair, he's had a really, really good month. But Callum Wilson is pissed off right now, and I actually think he'll be on the bench on Sunday because I think Eddie Howe is going now with Isak because that is the future. But what we've got there is a player that will be fit and firing and ready to go if we need him in the second half.
Mate, I don't think you get rid of him in the summer either. I think he stays in the summer now. You've got to keep him. You've got to keep him, especially with 4 games you're going to have.
Well, the argument has been for a while, and it certainly was after Sunday, is Wilson and Isak going to play together? I don't think they will, and I don't think they'll ever start together. And the reason being is because we don't then have an option off the bench.
Yeah.
But what I have said is that next season, I do see them playing together and starting together. The reason being is because I think we'll bring in another forward and then we've got options then. As long as we've got an option off the bench, I think he'll play both of those players.
When they play together, Pete, does Isak go on the left or something? Or do they go together?
Isak's been playing off the left. So Gordon came off at half-time against Southampton. And to be fair, Gordon was probably one of our better players. He played really well, to be fair, against Southampton. Unlucky not to score, hit the post. And he created all of our good moments were down that side, but we needed something else. So when Wilson came on, Isak went off the left. And to be fair, Isak created 3 or 4 top chances for the players in the middle. So he will naturally go off the left. If, say, he doesn't, what we do is change the formation up and he'll become a number 10. And he'll just float in and around Callum Wilson. So either way, Eddie Howe's got this team well kind of drilled.
Yeah,
the key for us though is if Sean Longstaff's back. Sean Longstaff, people don't rate him outside of Newcastle, and that's absolutely fine. But he has been absolutely crucial for us. We missed him against Villa, and we weren't the same team in that midfield. We missed him again in Southampton for the first 45 minutes. That midfield was not the same. He does so much of the dirty work that no other player in that team does. And luckily, he had a scan and it wasn't a broken foot, I don't know if you guys saw this. Everton away when we won 4-1. It was a blatant penalty, and I don't understand why it wasn't given. But he got a bad injury off that tackle, and it was looking like it was a broken foot. It hasn't been. It's looking like with bruising, he could be back in the team Sunday. We need him back fit and firing. And I think with him being back fit and firing, Joe Linton will play off the left, Isak through the middle, and then we've got Maxi back in training. We've obviously got Gordon. We've got the likes of Wilson. We've got options off the bench. Miggy, that's not even playing. He scored 11 goals this season. Murphy's starting ahead of him. We've got all those options off the bench, which is something we've never had for a long, long time.
Get used to it, man. It's going to get better in the summer for you. You're going to have some squad depth, no doubt, next season. Let's leave West Ham till last because there's some things I want to pick up from the chat in this one. I'm sure Lawless wants to reply to D, who's really excitable, bless him, in the chat.
So nothing to be excited about for his own team, so of course it's all.
All right, let's leave it. Let's save it. You'll get your say afterwards because he'll be waiting. He'll be waiting. Lewis, how's life under Lampard, bruv?
Exactly that, bro. Exactly that. It's a fucking joke, but we're starting to laugh at it. So we're in on the joke now. Everyone's in on it because we're.
Lewis, do you remember in February when you said you needed 40 points? You said we just get the 40 points, we'll be happy.
January. You still ain't got it. It's May. It's May, man. And congratulations on the 3 points as well, by the way. I was really, really hoping for that 0-0 draw. Didn't even get that. We
I
can
can't even lie to you, Lou. It was so easy, mate. Like I can't even lie to you, bro. It was like, and I'm not really a cocky one at times. Like I sit there and I thought, actually, I'm feeling quite cocky. And this could be 6 or 7. Now, the minute I said that, of course, it stayed at 3. But I actually thought this is such a breeze. I was really surprised by your lineup. I didn't understand what Lampard was doing. Aubameyang, I just said it, had 9 touches. 4 of them was from kickoff. Mudryk come on and showed a bit of pace. The one positive I would say, if I was watching Chelsea out of all those individual players, is probably Madueke. Is it Madueke?
Yeah.
He's the guy for me that I would be looking at. Right, you're definitely starting because you actually showed me something. Likewise, Enzo obviously is a good player and has.
I thought Kante showed something, but he's
Kante's
into that
class, but he's coming to that decline as a footballer. But he's still quality.
He just didn't have what he had before.
Yeah. But
I mean,
Lou,
this is the thing, though.
Man, what is going on,
like,
bruv?
People don't deep how bad Chelsea are until they play them. The amount of previews I've done, and people are, we're not really in good form. I feel like you guys are going to give us a game. I said, bro, 45 minutes, if that. And look, the same shit happens all the time, bro. We are 30-minute FC if we even get 30 minutes. I don't even know if we get that anymore with Lampard because he makes brain-dead decisions. Decided against Brentford that he was going to show them too much respect, and even Thomas Frank said it in the post-match press conference. He thought, I'm going to learn from that, and I'll show second-place Arsenal no respect and play a back 4. And then they score 2 goals, the same goal in a row, because there's no DM there. Because why are you playing a back 4 in any Premier League game, let alone against a team in second? It's like you're just asking for an L. But we all knew we were going to the game expecting an L. The second half was just fucking Solomon Kalou chance for 25 minutes straight. We celebrated that goal like it was fucking 4-3. Because there's just nothing else.
Solomon Kalou.
Bro, it is what it is. Like, I expected you lot to batter us. I thought it would have been 6 or 7 myself. When it got to 3-0, I was like, oh, shit. Here's the piping that we haven't been getting since October. We've been waiting for one, but, like, I don't know. I think you lot took your foot off the gas pedal. And fair enough on that. You saved us some embarrassment, but it was shit.
What do you make of this, Lou? Because, like, Tuchel's basically kept you up. Potentially, like, Lampard's sending you down, mate. It is.
No, it's not potentially. Without Tuchel's 11 points, we'd be 18th. Dead 18th.
It's criminal. Like, I feel like we need to take those Tuchel points away and make it even and fair. I think that's just bullshit. No, you got to Lewis. You got to. I want to hear you talk a bit on the players because I hear like Frank is a shocking manager, but the lack of quality in a lot of parts around your team, the passing, the final ball, the delivery, just for professional football players, no matter who the manager is, that is unacceptable. Shocking.
I totally agree. But here's the thing. I already knew this was going to happen after we got knocked out against Real Madrid because the same thing happened last season. We got knocked out against Madrid. The players went onto the beach. We had horrific performances, lost to Lampard's Everton, 1-0. We lost 4-2 to Arsenal, one of the worst home performances I've ever seen from Chelsea. I don't even recall some of the other fixtures. There was the Manchester United game, but our performances fell off a cliff, and they were already falling off before that point. The players have been shit all season. I've said there's not one specific issue if you're looking at the manager, the players, or the owners in terms of why we failed. They have all collectively failed because we are 13th, and without Tuchel's 11 points, if we started the Premier League season from the game after Tuchel got sacked, Chelsea would be in 18th place right now. We would be in the relegation zone, and this squad is not bad enough for that. They're shit, but they're like top 10, top 7 shit. They're not fucking.
What was the point in sacking Potter and bringing in Lampard as an interim? Like, I understand
Potter had to go. Potter had to go.
You just waited to the end of the season, at the end, at least, because
he's a far better manager than Lampard. Toxic because you look at the fixtures that we've had coming up: Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal. Now we have Forest and Bournemouth, who are still going to lose to anyway, and then we've got Man City, Man United, and Newcastle. Potter's not going through that run without a bunch of losses either. So
you're just going to tarnish your legend's legacy further.
You can't. Look, am I right in saying you can't mathematically go down? Can you? You can't mathematically go down, Lewis. Can you?
No, we can. But like everyone, everyone below us has to win all their games and draw the 6 pointers, and it's not going to happen.
Right,
so
right.
there
That's
will
what
be
I'm
three
saying.
teams that finish below us.
Do you know what though, Lewis? When the fixtures come out at the start of the season, I looked at because all the top teams. I look at their fixtures, and I was looking at your fixtures, thinking Chelsea got a tough run in if they're going to be getting sort of into top 4 if they have that top 4 race. Now I'm looking at that and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's 3 games potentially. If we were playing you at your place, I wouldn't be saying this, but 3 games that you don't need that, because I mean, if the teams below you do put a run together and get 6 points in the next 2 games or in the next 3 games, you're gonna be looking at that, aren't you, thinking, holy shit.
Bro, this is why my season was done in September when they sacked Tuchel, because I didn't think we were getting top 4 with him anyway. But at least we were building something with him. You've gone straight back to step 1 with Graham Potter. He's got to go right back to step 1 and build his own players. So it's like, yeah, it's done. We're not going to make top 4. We're not going to win the Champions League. Whatever. My season's done. That's why I've been riding this this road to 40 points thing till fucking May, because I didn't
Matisse
even
has been doing that as well. Matisse with me and Lawless, he's like, just give me the big 4-0, and they still can't get there.
40 points, man. That's all that I want. You can't even get that.
It'll be hilarious to end the season on 39. But
we probably will. I don't know where we get a point. I don't know where we get one. I'm being dead ass serious with you. I'm going to go to Bournemouth on Saturday. We're going to go lose. We're going to have Forest at the Bridge. We're going to lose that. Then the next 3 games, City, United, Newcastle. Come on.
No, you
City
should be relegated
pushing
just
for the
how much
title.
money you
They're going to
spend.
put 9 past us. United pushing for top 4. They're going to put 9 past us. Newcastle, they'll probably put 5 in the first 20 minutes on us. It is what it is.
To be fair, we owe you one at the Bridge. We owe you one at the Bridge for last season because we should have won there last time.
Lewis.
Oh, yeah, this was on the Jamie Havertz winner.
What are your? I mean, obviously, we know what your hopes are next season, but what do you see happening in the summer? What needs to happen at Chelsea?
My mum's saying this as well. Expectations for Chelsea is a big one. That's a big. Pochettino looks like the guy, and I'm with Dan there. Like, what is your hope then going into it? Like now,
next season, I'm a lot more optimistic for. I want a bare minimum of top 4 and a trophy, with 1 game a week, with a bunch of clear outs that we need to be doing. With a couple of ingoings, we still need a DM, potentially another midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a striker. If we bring those in,
is he in Cuckoo still there, Lewis? Are you still
and Cuckoo's coming in too. We might have Felix on loan for another season. With Pochettino in, who's an actual good coach and who actually develops players, which is something that we've lacked for a while, I think it'll be a good season for us. I'd expect us to be competing for top 4, and we should finish in the top 4. And we should be getting to a domestic cup final, if not both of them. So that would be what I want next season. But I believe we can get there. Or even if we have a bad season, we're not going to have a season as bad as this. That's why this till the end of the season, it's a laugh for me. Whatever. We're going to lose to everybody. Everyone's getting their licks in. Go for it. I'm doing it as well. I'm cussing out these lot too because they're on the beach. They've been crap all season. I've been saying they've been crap all season. It is what it is. This is Fulham Broadway FC.
With Lampard, do you think in his mind he comes out at the end of the season and says, "Look, it was we know he's a bad coach. I don't need to ask anyone's opinion on that." But do you think it'd be interesting to see what he says when he comes out? Does he come out and say it was a fucking train wreck there? It was, it was horrendous. Does he, will he say stuff about Bowley? Because Bowley throughout the last sort of 3 months, it's been.
He's already said a bit. He's already said a bit though.
That's why I'm saying
that. Were unfit. He said, but here's the thing. I agree with him because these players have been 30-minute FC since about January, and every time we lose a game, that idiot Graham Potter would give them 2 days off for no reason, and then they come into games even more unfit. And so I'm not surprised. That's why I don't want Pochettino in now. You want Pochettino's pressing system with these unfit dickheads who are on the beach. I'm good. He don't need to be saddled up for 5 losses and for people to call him a bummy manager straight out the hat. He don't need that.
You're going to have to sell a lot of these players on the cheap, though, as well. Like, because you talk about getting rid of a load of players, it's going to be hard to get rid of them on some of the wages that they're on and the contracts. Like, you're going to have to take real discounted prices. It's going to be like bargain.
It's what you're going to have to do. Oba could potentially be going on a free. Do feel bad for him because I feel like he hasn't been given a fair opportunity with us, and he's still our best finisher. But it is what it is. Pulisic will probably leave. Ziyech probably leaves. Havertz will leave if there's a good offer. Mount's going to leave. Gallagher's going to leave. Mendy needs to leave. I'd take a bid for Koulibaly. Who else?
Is Silver re-signed, or is he?
Silver's re-signed.
Silver's
re-signed.
At 39, and he's still your best centre half.
What about Kante?
Kante's probably going to re-sign, but he hasn't re-signed yet. But I think he'll re-sign. But there's a lot of players that
to Liverpool. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mason Mount,
you want to answer about Mason Mount?
Liverpool, Newcastle, yeah.
Mason Mount gone?
Mason Mount's gonna go. Like I haven't thought he was gonna sign for a while.
Who's gonna pay him those wages though? Let's be honest. Who's gonna pay him?
Newcastle, they spend money like crazy.
Newcastle,
like, they're always.
Just imagine July 28th we're sat here and Pete's going, I can't believe we paid him this.
I do not rate Mason Mount. I do not
honestly
want him at Newcastle.
he's gonna I think he's gonna go to Liverpool or United.
Liverpool fans are twerking hard for Mount. Like I don't
want him.
It's because they're very close to getting Mount. I think if he goes anywhere, it's Liverpool.
Hey, Dad, you know you boys will pay him. Man United will pay him the big bucks. You did 450 grand a week on Alexis Sanchez.
Pete, Ten Hag's already come out and said this season those days are over. That's why De Gea we're still with De Gea, because De Gea wants more money, and they're saying no, you are not worth the 350 grand a week that you're on now.
Your best player today, by the way, he almost got you the point.
Who?
De Gea.
He dived the wrong fucking way for the penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty. That was a fucking brilliant penalty. Anyone's diving the wrong way.
That was a class penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
But, anyway, enough about that shit, team. But yeah, Chelsea.
Fucking Lawless, I swear to fucking Christ.
Loving it. Well, Lawless, let's move. Let's do some comments and let you come back. There's quite a few on here. Big up D, big up D. Lawless, thanks for the 6 points this season. Don't ever compare Palace to West Ham. You hype merchants, £170 million spent, and you're fighting relegation. You lot got schooled. Remember that. He then comes back in again saying, anyways, thanks for the 6 points. That Soufal is a fraud. You thought he could stop Zaha. Lawless, smile if West Ham are a small club.
This guy. You know, why is he talking about that game? We've played another game since then. That means that what the Palace game is gone. We don't talk about it anymore because another game has been played. We forget about that. And he's still banging on about it. This is all he has. Like, he talks about small clubs and they've never won a trophy in their entire existence, right? In their whole existence. Palace fans, I don't understand them. I don't understand them at all. I've had them all in my mentions because I dared to criticize the fucking iconic Selhurst Park with the shittest away view in the history. Listen, I'll take Newcastle, mate. I'll get my binoculars and fucking go Newcastle.
Did your ticket have pillar in view? Did it say pillar in view?
It did. The thing is, that's what everyone said.
No, because they normally they should say it. It normally does at Everton. Everton's horrible for it as well, and it should say pillar in view.
Mine didn't. I checked it because all of the Palace fans were going, "Oh, we've buy a restricted view ticket." Mine said it. It didn't say it. I checked. I still have the ticket. Bloody what a mug. But yeah. So as the Arsenal fans like to say, we've got bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? Bigger fish to fry.
Mate, don't go down that road. That worked. That worked for us.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, touch wood.
When's the first one, Lawless? When's the
Thursday, isn't it?
Is it Thursday? Is the return leg next Thursday?
Yeah, the following Thursday. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is next Thursday could potentially be Lawless's farewell episode on this channel.
Well, why? Lewis
could be out of Europe, and then there's no need for you to be here anymore.
Well, Lewis is still here. So what's your point?
Fair enough.
What's your point?
He's been through enough, Lawless. He's been through enough, mate. This is guys sticking up for their mates here. You could be
as it stands. We are the only team still in Europe on this show, right? The only English team still in Europe in the entire country. Let that sink in, right? So when everyone questions my team, why are you on it?
Man City.
Oh, fucking yeah, Man City. They're like their own. They're in their own fucking league, isn't they?
Lawless in the mud. Lawless in the mud.
No, but listen, this fucking Palace fan is talking about fuck. We're in Europe, man. They've never even fucking touched Europe. They ain't even got passports, these Palace fans. You know what I mean? And they're trying to chat to us. It makes me sick. And you know what? Don't even get me started on the Arsenal fans, right? And that's what I know.
What have we done? What have I done? What have I done? What's going on now? What's happening?
Listen.
I thought you'd lay off me this week, man. What's happening? What have I done now?
Before this game, like these fucking Arsenal fans all literally hoping, like, oh, come on, West Ham, do us a favour, please, West Ham. Like really,
never going to happen.
Really, accept it. It's done. And then when the lineup comes out and they see Rice isn't in the starting lineup, they fucking lose their minds. They lose their shit. Oh my God. How dare they not play their full strength team? How dare they not play Rice? Rice was ill, apparently. That's the official story. Whether he is or isn't is another thing. But it baffles me that they're looking at we've got a European fucking competition to worry about. We've knackered. That's the only reason why we didn't beat shitty Palace, is because we were tired. And so we've had to
because Souček was fucking terrible.
Well, and that. But we played 9 games in April, right? Do you know what I mean? 9 games. So the players needed resting for the good of the team. We don't sit there and go, okay, well, Arsenal need City to drop points, so we better play. Rice. I know you're tired, mate.
This comment.
What?
Nicky Lawless and Dom have no coincidence. They all support West Ham.
Maybe there is.
Oh, big up Nicky and Dom, by the way, as well. Big up Nicky
Jason's
and Dom.
going bald as well.
And Jace. Oh, wow.
But this is what I said on Twitter, right? These same Arsenal fans were fucking crying. They were outraged when we dared play a full-strength team against them at home last season, right? Ahead of one of our cup games. I can't believe they would play a full-strength team against us when they've got to worry about the cup. Now, they're outraged because we didn't play a full-strength team. Which is it? Worry about your own failures, right?
See, I can't stick up for the fan base that do that. I looked at the West Ham side last night, and there was Rice and Souček missing, and obviously Aguerd. Now, I knew Zuma was out anyway, so it's not like they rested him. Apparently, there was some food poisoning or sickness bug or something that I'd heard about with Rice and Souček. Is that lasagna again? It's come back out.
Was there only 7 subs on the bench?
Yeah,
or was that Sky Sports making a mistake? Because when I looked at it on the app, it said 7 subs.
It might have been,
There you go. So
we had 2 keepers on the bench, to be fair.
So the Arsenal fans can't cry, man. If we would have done our job, we wouldn't have had to worry on this bollocks. Do you know what I mean?
You're not losing the league because West Ham didn't play a full strength team at the Etihad.
Nah.
You're losing the league because you threw away a 2-goal lead at Liverpool. You threw away a 2-goal lead at West Ham. You conceded 3 goals at home to Southampton, and you got battered, absolutely battered. And it would talk about us rolling over for Man City. We played a lot better than Arsenal did at the Etihad. We actually
early in the first half, you were actually pretty good from what I hear.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's I said on the watch along it's not sustainable. Like after a while, like when you're playing like that, your concentration is going to start to wane. But there was times where we were actually sort of pressing City. I couldn't believe it. I expected just long balls and that, and was doing well. But
I sent you a stat. I sent you a stat earlier. I couldn't believe it. Right, David Moyes. The winless run goes on. David Moyes has never beaten a top 6 side away from home in 73 attempts.
Yeah, in
73,
the Premier League.
And he's never beaten one. 73.
Yeah, in the Prem, he's done it in the cups, but in the Prem, it's just like. But this is what I say. The thing is, there's some like Moyes apologists who points out, and they was talking about, he does it. He's beaten teams in the cup, so that's a fake stat. No, it's not a fake stat because the reason why it's different for the cups is it's a knockout, right? You have to go for it. You have to try and win it. You can't play for a draw. You can't go away in the cups and go, right, I'm going to play for a draw because there is no draw. You win or you lose. So he has to go and try to win. And when you do that, guess what? Sometimes you win. But in the league, he sits there and goes, if we can go there and get a point, that's a good result. Respect the point. That's the mentality. That's why he's never won in the league against these sides.
Lawless, on Sunday, mate, do you say in the Europa League you draw or you 1-0 loss, whatever, and that's not me baiting. What does that mean for the rest of your season? Will you try and rest players, or will you still just go full strength in the league? Do you think that was just a one-off for the City game?
West Ham ain't out of this relegation thing. I know they're not going to go down, but you've got to win, man.
Yeah, we need to get at least one win, right? And Mark Taylor points out there in the chat is I said it ahead of time because I knew there was no chance. It's like I was pissed off that we played Bowen and Antonio. They desperately needed resting. You know, that was a stronger team than I wanted to play. I thought we should have rested players more. He subbed them off a bit earlier than he would have usually, which is good. But if we beat Man United on Sunday, depending on how the other results go, if we've still got if we've got a 7-game cushion with 3 games to play, we're probably going to be resting players against Leeds and Leicester towards it. We got Brentford away. Leeds at home, Leicester away. If we're sort of safe by then, we probably will start resting. We have to because we've got to win that trophy. And if we're safe, what's the point in trying to win to finish fucking 13th or something?
Sorry, big up, Fergus Guns and Yellow Ribbons, man. Make sure you head over there and subscribe. I hope you're well, Fergus.
I was gonna.
That is so funny. Going to Old Trafford.
You live in Leicester.
Going in Old Trafford and singing "We'll Race You Back to London" is one of the funniest chants for sure. It's absolute class. Lawless. I was talking to the lads last night on the show, and they don't think West Ham are out of this relegation thing yet. Obviously, Dan's got a bet with you that West Ham are going down. You think they're staying up. Your fixtures, you need to beat Leeds and Leicester, mate. They're your last 2, right? Is that right?
Yeah, they're our last 2, but that's what I'm saying. As it stands, we need to beat them. But like I say we got 3 points against Man United and a point at Brentford, right? Or vice versa, right? We get 4 points, puts us on 38 points. There's a good chance. There's a good chance we won't need to win those games because I can't see Everton, Forest, Leeds, and Leicester getting they've got with 4 games left. I can't see them winning half their games, even or more than that. For them, with how they've been this season, by the time we play them, I think there'll be enough of a gap for us to be able to go. Yeah, you know what? Fucking play the kids against Leeds. We just got to worry about this stupid rule that they seem to be bringing out of match fixing or whatever. No, this is what I said to the Arsenal fans. You have a squad for a reason. Right, you have a squad.
I agree.
So you should be allowed to use it. You can't have other people dictating. Well, that's your best player, so you have to play him. What's the point? And there's this homegrown rule that they force on you for the betterment of the England team. You should have to get to play the youngsters and stuff like that. If it don't mean anything to us, we got to win a trophy. I don't give a shit about if us resting players against Leeds and Leicester puts Forest and Everton down. Why do West Ham give a shit? We want to win a trophy. Doesn't matter to us. They should.
We did it, Lewis, didn't we? Do you remember Champions League 2008? We did it, didn't we? Last game of the season, we put both sets of us just put kids.
Oh yeah.
No, because we had a title decider, didn't we?
Well, that was the season before.
We beat Wigan last day.
Was it?
What
was the season where we both did it, didn't we? There was one game we both just put kids out.
Yeah, that was because we had the cup final the week after.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It happens. I remember. He was the Blackpool manager. What was his name? Fucking hell, Ian
Holloway.
Ian Holloway. Do you remember he got absolutely battered for it when he did it with Blackpool? You've got a squad of 25. You registered 25 players. End of.
Well, yeah.
I thought that was out of order. That
he got fined for that. I'm sure he did.
He got a fine. That is well out of order.
But it's bollocks because then why in the cup games, right? How many teams play their fucking kids? Say if Man City they get fucking Barnet or something.
Liverpool do it every year, Lawless.
Yeah,
Liverpool do it every single year.
No one makes
in the
fuss.
Carabao Cup. They play the kids every single year.
Yeah. No one has a problem with it, yeah. But when you have a nothing game in the league, yeah, where look, if we lose this, it's not going to mean anything. If we win it, it's not going to mean anything. But we've got a cup game to worry about. All of a sudden, it's a big problem because of how it may affect other teams. Fuck that. Them teams didn't do enough in their season, right, to not have to worry about.
I actually agree. I actually agree. You're going to get it, Lawless, because people are salty and they hate it, right? And they thought West Ham can finally do something. They turned up against Arsenal. Mate, we've been doing it. We've been doing it in the League Cup every year.
Jeremy Aliadier and players like that used to come through off the back of playing.
In 2007, we got to the final of the League Cup. We lost to Chelsea, and we played the same team that got us in round one right the way through. We had Theo Walcott scored his first goal. 2007.
Was that when John Terry got knocked out?
John Terry got knocked out by Diaby, who was also about 19 at the time. So we had a massive, like, oh my God, Arsenal playing kids in the final against Chelsea, who at the time were under Mourinho, had Drogba and Lampard and Makelele and SCN and all that. And I was like, this is going to be a hammering. We went 1-0 up, we lost 2-1. I think it was in extra time. Drogba, again, always scored against us. We've done it for years. So, listen, it's one of those, man. It's one of those.
I don't know what's become of this fucking Burnley one, because that was a ridiculous. Burnley were under investigation for playing a weakened team and could face points deduction if they were found guilty.
QPR. Yeah.
They were promoted. They were promoted. Why would they not? What? I don't understand it.
Why would you not give other people an opportunity when you've already got the promotion in the league wrapped up? Like,
we might as well just register, a fucking, a small squads, right?
Yeah,
just
we're only allowed to register 17 players or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's it. Don't have squads. Don't give any youngsters a chance. Heaven forbid.
So, like, last question, Lawless. You have Man United, Leeds and Leicester, and who else?
Brentford away.
How many points?
Hold on, Potts, say those fixtures again. What West Ham got?
They got Man United next,
at
Brentford
home.
Away. They've got Leeds at home and Leicester away.
Yeah. How many points?
6 points minimum, got to be, isn't it?
Yeah, but again,
where
it's going to be.
Pete, honestly, the way United are away at the moment, mate, I've got no confidence going into Sunday. No confidence.
So you think there's a chance that West Ham could win that one?
I think Man United will beat West Ham.
I hope so, Potts. But I tell you what, mate, Lawless, all banter aside, you are playing us at the best time, aren't you? 100%.
Yeah,
I think West Ham could get a draw in that one. But
I think we can get at least a draw. I think a win is possible. But again, that question about how many points, it's the funny thing for me. Like, say we beat Man United and we get a point to fucking Brentford, then like I'm thinking 4 points for the rest of the season because we won't need no more. But if we are in a situation where we need something from Leicester and Leeds, potentially 6 points, we could get if we have to go out and play our full strength team. But yeah, like for me, either beat Man United, draw Brentford, or draw Man United, beat Brentford. That has to be the assignment. Like Brentford are a good team away from home, but
is it crazy to say I'd rather play United and Brentford than Leeds and Leicester? Because they are fighting for their lives, Leeds and Leicester. And United, let's be fair, they haven't really looked great for a while. Brentford have been on the beach for a while because they know they can't really get European Conference League, and they've done a great season. I think it could be that you actually look at those points as opposed to the others. Now, you should be able to beat. You could beat win all of them, Lawless. To be fair,
Big Sam's going to want to fucking do one.
Big Sam's going to want to make it hard.
Yeah, 100%.
He's out. That is going to be the Big Sam versus David Moyes. That is.
Are you worried, Lawless?
Premier League.
I don't think.
Are you worried if it gets to say you lose against United and against Brentford? Are you worried going into that game against Leeds with Big Sam?
Yeah, because look, at the end of it, if we do that, and again, it's all going to depend on what other teams are doing, whether a point will be enough or we have to win it. But they become cup finals, like those games. You can't just look at it as a regular, like any other time in the season. Leeds at home, I'm confident for that one. We should beat them. In these high pressure circumstances, anything can happen. And that's the worry. That's what I don't want. That's what I want to avoid. That's why, to me, this Man United game is so important. That's why I was like, right off the Man City game, I was like, I don't care about going to the Etihad and losing just 2-0 and having respectable, well done, you give up a good fight. No, fuck that. Rest them and go for a game that we can actually win at Man United at home. You know, our home form since the turn of the year has been decent. It's a winnable game, and it's so massive. If we win that, it puts us on 37 points, potentially a 7-point gap off. Probably will give us a 7-point gap on the bottom with 3 games to go. We're effectively safe because then with our goal difference as well, the teams below us have to go win 2 games. They have to win all their games. In fact,
I just worry though with West Ham though, if you do lose against United. And Brentford, and say you need the players because obviously you guys are quite rightly prioritising Europe. There, you want that cup final place. Does that become a massive problem for the squad? Because then they are going to have to play every game, aren't they? Simple as that.
This is the problem. We will have to then prioritise the league, and we're going to have to rest players in Europe, and hope that's enough because the fatigue is getting there, man.
Does anyone think West Ham will go out in this round of the Conference League?
Semis.
AZ.
Who do they have again?
AZ Alkmaar. In 2 legs.
I don't know enough about that team, so I think West Ham will do it.
They're probably the toughest ones you've played for a while in the tournament, aren't they? I'd say.
Yeah, they're definitely up there. I mean, they play some real attacking football. They've got goals in them. Like, it's definitely going to be a challenge for sure. So, yeah, if we and then again, it comes down to it. I don't know what their season's been like. Obviously, they've played in Europe and had to play their league games. I don't know how far they've gone in domestic cups, but our players are starting to show serious signs of fatigue. That's why, like, if we lose them next 2 games. We're literally gonna have to just rest certain players. I was baffled that he played Antonio against Man City because he's one of the ones that suffers from fatigue the most, and he is so crucial because Ings does not suit us at all. Absolutely baffling signing. I do not understand the sign. He literally is at fault for one of the goals. That's what he helped give them a goal. Didn't have a sniff near their goal, you know, and. If we have to go to the rest of the season with Ings and something happens to Antonio, we are fucked because
4th in the table, Lawless. They are.
Alkmaar are 4th, and they've won, lost, drew, lost, 1-1. They're 2 points off Ajax. So I don't know enough about them. They're not exactly on fire. They've won their last 2 games. It means nothing going into a European game, but
2 points off Ajax is And the thing is that the only little thing is, you know, sometimes they say like in Europe, it's better to have the home leg second. Do you know what I mean? And the away leg first.
Yeah.
And they've got the home leg second. We're at home first, so we need to really try and do the business. So we've got
you got to end the contest.
That game before. Yeah.
Like so that in the contest in the first round.
Yeah, go super strong at home. Get the goals up, give us a cushion, then we can sort of rest players at their ground, see how it goes, play defensive, and try and get over the line. It's fucking mad. It's so mad.
It's mental, man.
We've got to win this, and hopefully Moyes pisses off, and we get a new manager in. I've been sort of really revisiting Paulo Fonseca. I've been really looking back into that. I did a video about that 4 years ago about him when he
Will Still, mate. Will Still.
He's Will Still's gone down a hill, mate. Will
Still has I never knew you could rhyme, mate.
Mate. Listen, no joke. I used to be an artiste.
Poet. Used to be a poet.
Yeah, but no.
Don't let Errol hear you say that, mate.
Have faith, Lawless. Have faith. You said you're going to win it, so I'm not letting you come back on that now.
Mate, if we win it, mate. If we win it, do you know what? As well, let me quickly, because I know Tobes ain't here, but I've got to say something on this guy. He tweeted out, and I said it. If we don't get 5th or 6th, I hope we get 8th. And he's rightly getting clowned by his own fan base, as saying like, respect it's a competition we can win, or like a trophy we can win. Why would we turn our noses up? So it's good to know that not all Spurs fans are as completely delusional as him to think that he's above this competition when they don't win fuck all. Like, you know what I mean? He's out here tweeting, we will get this. What kind of mentality is that? What if we can't get this? We'll hope we'll finish 8th. Like, it's so fucking stupid a thought process because if I'm at, say for instance, like Potts, right? If you finished 7th, right, you might look at it and go, do you know what? We're in that competition, but it's maybe a great opportunity for our younger players and to keep the players that aren't getting game time fresh and give them. You can look at it as that if you're with this big club, right, that looks down on it. But to say that you'd rather finish 8th than 7th, what kind of Tim Pot mentality is that?
Honestly. The thing is, like I've said it before, that I'd rather be out of that just because then we can concentrate on big things. But Tottenham don't win nothing, so they can't say that. Do you know what I mean?
I know they bottled it last time. They didn't get out of the group stages, but they get another crack at it. It's the most winnable competition.
I actually think Tottenham will come 8th. I don't think they will come 7th. For me,
Lawless, you're
Brighton,
saying it's a winnable competition because it's a shit competition. Then is that what you're?
No, it's
Brighton and Liverpool,
winnable.
I reckon.
What I'm saying is none of these other competitions are winnable for Tottenham. Clearly, it's shown that they haven't won any other competition in a very, very long time. But you're right, that 7th is in danger, but they've got Kane and Son as it form at the right time. They could still edge 7th.
Are you worried about your bet, Lawless, with Son?
Yeah. What does he need? He needs another fucking 25 goals.
Mate, I can't believe Tobes made that bet, man.
Like I said, 150 quid is coming my way end of season.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this earlier, right? I was going to say to you, Dan, but I knew you'd get pissed if I said it, right? If West Ham beat Man United, they're pretty much safe. Can you imagine that? They beat Man United and then you owe him 50 quid. That would be the worst.
It's like choosing which one of your mates shags your wife, really, isn't it? It's that sort of dilemma, isn't it?
Come on.
Honestly, man, it is.
Lawless, I am not paying out until it's mathematically sorted.
All right, okay, mathematically, yeah. You sound like Tobes. End of season. Like Son's gonna get fucking 30 goals or whatever between now and end of the season. Bullshit.
Mate.
But
It's going to be interesting.
By the way, you missed the video intro at the start, Lewis. Yeah, but I agree with what you said. Arsenal will be the best losers this season. So well done, Potts. Best losers of the season.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you can. Yeah, Lewis, you can go back and watch the start of this, mate. You got clipped up like many people did by my boy Sam.
Game's a game.
It's one of
including in Luke Potts got done though, like for a change.
I got done big time. So we all did. I think it was Errol, Tobes, me, Lawless, Lewis.
But Errol got clipped up nicely.
Dan got out of it.
Pete,
yeah, Errol got clipped up in a good way. Pete doesn't need to get clipped up at the moment. Newcastle have not disappointed, mate.
But he also like he tries to be like you, like I'm fake humble. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah. Like, we've got Southampton.
Why are you coming for me?
Because it's annoying. You don't get yourself in a clipped up situation. Like you'll sit there, you'll play Southampton like at home, like I think we can win that. I think we can win.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to? Do you know what I'm looking forward to with Pete? Pete, I'm looking forward to when you win the FA Cup with Newcastle and we see a video of you like Lee Judges whenever Kane scores for England, just sat there like that. I hate the FA Cup.
Tell you what, though,
stick your chest out, Pete, is what I'm saying.
Up, man. Hold on, I've done that. What I've said is we beat Arsenal Sunday, we get Champions League. I've told you that.
Pete, the second it's sorted, I want you on here like the Geordies with your top off, mate. You've got to celebrate like a proper Geordie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What is it with Geordies? They live up north.
Honestly, mate, can't wait to get their kit off.
Don't they?
Different breed, man. Different breed.
They are.
Yeah, honestly, I was up there the weekend with the loaded boys. And it was a madness. It was an absolute madness.
One grind I've never done.
Oh,
I tell you what, mate. You just better get your hiking boots on, mate. If you do it, Jesus.
Yeah, man. It's mad. It's mad. Listen, make sure if you haven't done so already, smash a like. Hit subscribe and go check out the start of this video. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth a watch where we all just get annihilated by Sam. Big up Sam Hart. Make sure you go and follow Sam Hart on Twitter. He's turned into a skullfuggery, bless him. This talent he's a talented boy, man. I can't lie, talented boy. Big up
him, I won't give you his at. That's helpful, Potts.
Yeah. I can't remember his. It's at Sam. Don't follow it. It's Sam Hart. It's Sam Hart. I'm sure it is. Sam Hart on Twitter. Big up Pete. Make sure everyone goes and follows Pete on socials. Loaded Mag NUFC. Also, go follow at The Lawless. Go follow West Ham Fan TV. Go follow Dan United over at United First 1878. And go and follow Chelsea Fan TV and Lewis at Carefree Lewis G. Make sure you do that, people. Like and subscribe on your way out. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the Arsenal. Take care, people.